Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm the Queer Armor, and today I want to go over a few questions I've gotten around Bashback 2021, a virtual shooting competition for anybody who would stand up to queer bashing. So I'm going to go over those questions and also get into the why of the competition and start getting into why the competition is formatted the way that it is. I don't want to have to watch this over and over. The rules written down somewhere? Yep, there's a rules document that outlines all of the things that you can and can't do. I forgot to bring it up in the video because, well, reasons. Shut up. You're not my mom. You're nowhere near drunk enough.
Nothing like a little post-traumatic stress disorder to make your day complete.
Why did you pick the pizza box? Because I wanted this to be something that everybody would be able to engage with. Pizza is a fairly universal standard. It's something that pizza box you'll find pretty much everywhere across the country. Different versions of different targets are things that you'll find in different places, but pizza is something that you will find the 13x18 pizza box pretty much everywhere. Plus, who doesn't like supporting pizza places? Can you do the drill more than once on a target? Look, I get it, and making the target is a little bit of a process, so if you want to repeat the competition on an individual target, you can repeat it up to 3 times. Now you have to bring stickers and sticker over the bullets from earlier runs, but you can repeat it 2 additional times after your first run, as long as you sticker over the bullet holes between runs. Also, I mean, if you bug friends for their pizza boxes, it's a form of recycling. I want to compete, but I'm not going to be able to by the end of Pride Month. Good news! I actually didn't entirely intend this to line up with Pride. This is something that's going to be happening all summer. You have until the end of August to get your entries, and on September 1st, I'll be collating all of the entries that have come together and combining them into a single video where I'll be giving some awards, talking about some cool things that I saw over the competition, and talking about where the competition will be moving next year. Yes, I want to make this a yearly thing. Yeah, but why call it Bashback? Like, what the hell is that? Are you, like, encouraging violence or something? Alright, we're not encouraging violence. Bashback 2021 comes from an expression in the community, in the queer community, particularly parts of the community that knows from a personal experience that the safest way to be queer in America is often to be armed. Armed queers bash back. And frankly, not only have there been a steep rise in violent queer bashing incidents, there's been a push from people in the left to try and make it seem like restricting guns would be good for queer folk. And I want to make it clear that there are people in the two-way who will stand up against queer bashing, and guns are absolutely necessary if you want to have safe queer folk in large parts of the country. Okay, but why this drill? The drill is based on a condensed version of one of the worst forms of queer bashing people are likely to see. There have been incidents where particularly either a gay male or a trans woman will be catfished, and then after meeting the supposed date, 2 or 3 people will jump out of a van when they go for a walk, and the 3 people plus the supposed date will all kidnap the 4th person before beating them savagely. It's far more common in Russia than it is here, but unfortunately it's happened in the United States. Horrible form of violence. Also, I'm sorry this past bit hasn't been very funny, but some shit you just can't make funny. This drill is supposed to be a very heavily distilled version of that attack. The first engagement, the first target, is a shoot, don't shoot drill. And this is supposed to simulate somebody who is tussling with an attacker. It's the reason why there is so little forgiveness for hitting the wrong color. It's the reason why you find out at the very last minute which side you're even supposed to be shooting at. The next 3 targets you need to dispatch with effective fire. I say effective fire because, well, handguns are a bit weird, and they don't work the way you would expect them to if you got your source of physics from cartoons. Simple physics aren't so simple when you add in the weirdness that is human bodies. Remember, we're all weird sacks of fluids. 556, when it pushes through one of those sacks of fluids, is moving so fast that it tears the tissue out of the way before it can even snap back. The hole that it leaves behind is significantly larger than the actual hole the path of the bullet would normally have left behind. Handgun rounds deal with what's known as the human plasticity effect, or in other words, we're weird sacks of fluids and the fluids will slap back together. being a sack of fluids and all. The wound from a handgun round will expand and then contract, and it will hold this shape. Don't take my word for it. This is a quote from Dr. Vincent J. M. DeMao. He was the chief medical examiner and the director of the Research Crime Laboratory in 1985. As well as for several other years, he's a very well-renowned physician when it comes to what bullets do to human bodies. And that year, discussing bullet wounds, he said this: "It has been found that above a certain critical velocity, the character of a wound changes radically, with tissue destruction becoming much more severe. Trans or supersonic flow within the tissue causing strong shockwaves has been assumed to be responsible for this effect. Human flesh will rip at about 2,700 feet per second. Now, to be clear, that's how fast the flesh needs to move, not how fast the bullet needs to move. The bullet needs to be moving significantly faster in order to push the flesh to be going that fast. Add that all together, and suddenly it becomes clear why there's so many cases of somebody being shot with a handgun and then continuing on during a fight. Don't get me wrong, you don't want to be shot by a handgun, you don't want to be shot at all, but if you had a choice between being shot by a 9mm and being shot by a 5.56, you're gonna choose the 9mm. Perfect example of this, Teddy Roosevelt was once shot by a handgun by an assassin. He then went on to give a speech for an hour. Now don't get me wrong, Teddy Roosevelt was kind of a bull of a man, but this also highly illustrates that getting shot with a single handgun round isn't necessarily an incapacitation. And if you're planning to take somebody down with a handgun, effective fire may well mean 3 or 4 rounds. Hence why our drill has you do 3 rounds into the primary attacker and then 4 rounds of effective fire onto 3 additional targets. So make sure you get your entries in as soon as you can. It's going to be going off about August 23rd. So you've got a couple months, but I want to start seeing those entries. Come on, let me see them. Let me see them. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you want to support this channel, all of these videos debut a day early on Patreon. And it'd be really awesome if you wanted to support me over there. If you want to make sure that nobody can join the competition so that you can win all of the 0 prizes, take a sledgehammer and smash the subscribe button, and I guarantee you nobody else will be able to subscribe. If you've got any questions about Bashback 2021, leave a comment down below. I'll make sure to answer it. And as always, moral doesn't mean legal, and Stonewall was a riot. Peace.